I thought I was being helpful by suggesting to my boyfriend's sister ways she could start helping her parents, but now I've been banned from ever entering their home. Posted by u/main_copy_4866. So, I, 25F, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, Jake, 25M, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings, Mike, 23M, Alex, 21M, and Tina, 19F. All of them are still in college and still live at home with their mom, 55F, and dad, 55M, while Jake and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting first-class tickets, a high-end hotel, etc. One night, Jake and I were supposed to have dinner with his family. While we were at their house, Tina mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. Since this is an anniversary trip for her parents, I suggested to Tina that she could do her parents a favor and maybe stay back home to give them time away from their kids this summer. Or, she could maybe pay her own way so her parents could save money. Tina asked me why she'd give up a trip to France, and I told her it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. I kept trying to explain how nice it would be and how her parents would probably appreciate the space. At some point, Mike interrupted us and told me to stop meddling in family affairs, saying I was overstepping, and demanded I either apologize for pressuring Tina or leave the house. I told him I didn't mean to upset anyone. But when their dad came into the room and asked what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave his house and said I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was creating a problem and pressuring Tina to solve it. Jake and I went back to our apartment, and we haven't been speaking since. Where do I go from here? Edit. The others are invited, but they're older, so I assume they can just go do their own thing. Edit. I'm not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that Tina starts making money on her own so she can value it more. She's used to getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for, not to mention how many products she buys for her hair and sanitary needs. It'll hit her hard how much this stuff costs when she's older, so why not start learning that now? Update 2 days later. Last night, Jake and I had a long and serious talk about my comments at the dinner, along with some of my past remarks. He told me that, while in my family, refusing a free trip when invited may be seen as noble, in his family, refusing a free trip is seen as foolish. In my family, if someone offers to pay for you, you should always decline, no matter what. My parents made me work all throughout high school and always told me I'd have to get a scholarship to help pay for college because they weren't going to do it. It's also a courtesy in my family not to expect help with finances, no matter how tough things may get, to only eat one serving at dinner gatherings, to always pay your own way, and to freely voice our opinions, no matter what they are. Jake then discussed the trip to France. His mother has extended family who live there, so this won't be the first or last time they all visit. It will be the first time they explore the area where his parents got married. Even if Tina wasn't old enough to go off on her own, didn't know her way around, or didn't speak the language, she'd still be just fine. And if his mom and dad wanted alone time, Tina would still be okay on her own, even without extended family there. When Jake and I first started dating, he had told me about how his maternal great-great-grandparents moved to America from France. I had been under the impression that everyone from his mother's extended family moved, not just the great-great-grandparents and their children. Apparently, his mother thought my behavior stemmed from me not feeling welcome in their family, and the dinner was intended to invite me on the France trip as a sort of peace offering. However, after his father caught me trying to sway Tina, he'd had enough and decided he couldn't tolerate me being around the rest of the family or in their home anymore, no matter what his wife said. This came as a shock to the family, as his dad doesn't speak much and is usually calm and composed. Jake also showed me photos from his parents' wedding. It looked like one of the most fairy tale-like weddings I'd ever seen. It was held at Chateau Calon, and he explained how they plan on renting the space again and flying all their extended family out to celebrate with them because they want to celebrate with everybody. They plan to take time for themselves later on in the summer. I also teared up listening to how his parents met. After graduating high school, his mother spent the summer in France with her family, while his dad was visiting with his older brother. His dad had struggled with cancer nearly his entire life up to that point, and it was supposed to be his last trip because he was tired of fighting and ready to give up. One morning, while eating alone at a cafe, he saw her, the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, spending her time helping her family with their restaurant, running it like it was the Navy. She wasn't afraid to call out customers when they were being unreasonable or downright rude, and she knew exactly what she wanted and how to get it. She was the complete opposite of him. They spent the day together, which inspired his father to continue his cancer treatment, accomplish his goals, and start taking life more seriously so he could be by her side for as long as she'd have him. His parents always told him and his siblings that the only thing in life they value more than each other is their children, and they want to make sure that, if life ever gets hard for them, they always have something to fall back on. Jake told me he'd be moving back in with his parents until he can find a new apartment. He also revoked my invitation to their family Christmas trip to Aspen, which we were supposed to leave for tonight. I feel like I'm in a Dhar Mann video right now. What the hell? On another note, my friend saw my initial post and staged an intervention. I will be attending therapy for the foreseeable future. May update once I unpack what's wrong with me.